Hey everybody, Phil here at Woods Tree Farm. It is spring planting time. Just in case you weren't familiar, or you haven't been following along, or maybe didn't get all the details, whatever. We decided not to really do a big spring planting this year for a couple reasons. One, we did a big fall planting and we want to see how those things do. And also our past two spring plantings have not had great survival rate. So we're kind of reevaluating how we're doing things around the farm. But we kind of just went out on a limb and we were approached by some friends of ours who were doing an order for some leyland cypress and some Carolina sapphire trees. And we said, sure, we'll get a couple hundred of those. Last year we planted leyland cypress in the spring and they actually did do well. So maybe we'll give them a try. These ones though are quite small. I'll show you in a second what they look like. We've already done all the leylands and I'm prepping here an area to do the Carolina sapphires. Since we did not really count on doing this planting, we didn't do any prep. Now we already had a couple rows of leylands up at the front of the field by the pond. We'll go up there in a little bit, and there was, you know, a couple spaces where some trees from last year had died, so we filled those in. And then we also tilled some extra rows when we were doing our fall planting because we thought we might put some pines down there. Well, anyway, we ended up using those pre-tilled rows from last fall for this year's leylands. So we didn't really have to do any work up there. Over here though, we've never planted anything back here though, and since these trees are so small, I decided not to do any subsoiling, not to do any tilling. We just laid out the rows, we put our stakes down, and I came through with a mower just now and I scalped the grass down really low. I actually think I might go another notch lower, and I think we can just plant these trees with a shovel. And let me show you what they look like, because the root mass is so small. I think planting these by hand with a shovel in this unprepared soil here will be just fine. So here's our leftover leylands. We're actually going to do a few of these in some pots and see if maybe we can sell some potted trees. And if not, then we'll just transplant bigger trees to the field. So I think we've got 8 or 10 of the leylands. Here's what they look like. They have these little, I think they're 2.5 or 2 3/4 inch pots. And then the trees themselves are about a foot tall. And, you know, these are fast growing trees. Maybe they'll be up to 2 feet tall at the end of this year. And, you know, we'll go from there. In this other box here, we have the Carolina sapphires. And they're just a slightly different color, kind of a bluish color to these, though they don't necessarily look like it. Let me pull a leyland in here and we'll see them side by side. I don't know how well that'll come out, but this leyland here is a little bit more vibrant green than these. These are more bluish. And these also can grow, I'm told they'll grow to be maybe a little bit more kind of full and more kind of bushy than the leylands are. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see. I don't know anybody else around this area growing these, so we'll just kind of have to see how they do. I know everybody always asks where our trees come from. This is our first time getting trees from this source, but Thunderhill Growers out of Knoxville, Georgia. There's their information. Just like we've done with our other planting, we are going to use these fertilizer tablets. One of those will go in each hole with the tree. These are supposed to be 2-year slow release tablets. These trees, since they grow so quickly, will probably also need some granular or foliar fertilizer in addition to these tablets, but these will give them a good base of nutrients in the ground, hopefully, and hopefully we see them grow a good foot and a half this year. I'm going to fire up the mower again and cut this grass down another notch, and then we'll start digging. I had to take a little break to go make a fire. We're going to roast hot dogs out here for dinner tonight. But now that that's going and Stacy's working on that with the kids, I can come back here and dig a few holes. So obviously we just stretched this tape out and we're just going to dig a hole every 6 feet. And just remember, the tape's going to get in my way, so every 6 feet I'm going to put it down. sun's going down and I want to get some supper. So we're going to finish this up tomorrow. I also realize this ground is pretty compacted. So the plugs that I'm pulling out to make my little holes, I don't think are going to break apart as easy as I want to go back in the holes. So I'm going to mix up in the morning some topsoil and some wood chips, or decomposed wood chips, and we'll use that to backfill these holes. So see you in the morning. To dig these holes, all we're doing is just lifting the sods. I'm just doing a shallow cut with a shovel, lifting the sod out of the way, and then taking one small scoop. These seedlings are really small, so we don't need a really big hole, but I'm just taking a small scoop of dirt out and throwing it in our wheelbarrow, and then Stacy's going to use that soil from the wheelbarrow to refill the holes. And we had thrown some wood chips in here to begin with to try to amend this, but at this point, getting halfway through our planting, there's not many wood chips left. We're basically just using the soil that came out of the holes. So you can see these trees in a row here. We have 90-foot rows at 6 feet apart, so there's 16 trees in each row. That'll give us 96 on this grid, and then if there are 4 remaining trees, we're going to put those in pots and see how they do in pots. But down here, we'll go pay a visit to Stacy, and she'll show us what she's learned so far. She's done a couple rows of these almost by herself. The kids helped a little bit.
Carolina sapphires, the roots are a lot more like the bare root trees we get, which I was not expecting, but it does make it pretty easy to plant. I just kind of plop it in here, make sure the fertilizer tab is off to the side. And then we have a bucket of mixed soil from the holes that we dug, or Phil dug, along with some compost that we had at the front of the property. I'm just kind of planting it in here, and these are looking really healthy. This one actually even has some buds coming out on it, so good thing we're getting them into the ground now.
There's 100 trees in the ground. Took a little over an hour, about an hour and a half for us, and that included digging all the holes. We did run a little short on soil to fill the holes back in, so I had to go harvest a couple wheelbarrows full from another section of the property. So if you're going to do this method and leave that sod clump out next to the hole like we were doing, you're going to need extra soil, obviously. So anyway, that was the only hiccup we ran into, but I like how this came out. It was really easy for us to do this grid with just 100 trees. And we've struggled at other times and with other plantings getting everything straight and laid out, but doing these little short 90-foot rows. And then the next thing we're going to do is water these trees in. The next several days are supposed to get up into the low 70s, and I don't think we're expected to get any rain until late in the week, so it's at least like 4 or 5 days away. So I want to make sure these trees get watered in real good, and the leylands that we did. So that means I got to go dig my pump out. It sat out all winter, and hopefully we can get it running and we can get our tub filled up and we can haul some water up here and water these things in.
Put a little bit more in.
I know.
Can you reach it?
I know I can.
You got it?
Uh-huh.
All right, do the inside. You want to do it on this side?
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Come this way.
All right. All right, I'm going to move this up.
Good.
baby, go.
Need some more.
All right, I'm coming up.
Watch your toes.
Well, that wraps up our spring planting. We had 100 leylands, 100 Carolina sapphires, and they went in the ground pretty quick. We'll let you guys know how this goes. I mentioned this is our first time planting directly into the sod without any other soil prep, so we'll see how it goes. Stacy did a whole lot of planting today.
Yes.
How you feeling?
My back hurts. But good. It's like therapy.
Therapy, and the kids helped probably more than ever. So
Yeah.
big helpers, and made really quick work of watering with the extra hands. So
Yeah, really glad we watered. Even though the ground seemed wet, it definitely soaked up water once we put some down. So, and we're not getting rain for another 5 days.
all right, well, thanks for tuning in. If you got any questions or comments, leave those below. If you enjoyed this one, hit that like button. We appreciate that. And until next time, hope you have a good one, and we'll see you on the next video.